Donald Trump is working to reshape America in this new golden age of cryptocurrency. But what connections have we been able to establish between the Trump family and XRP? I went to dig in, and I think I have some good stuff to show you. We're going to go through all of that in this video. Let's go ahead and jump in and listen to some statements that Donald Trump has made about cryptocurrency in America and why it's so important to his administration moving forward.
Many Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology. Who would have thought we would have been saying that 2 years after many Americans are...
So Trump is saying here that he and his administration want to make it cheaper for people, regular people in the United States to transact. Also for government to transact. Using the old system, God, I can't imagine how much money the U.S. government was spending daily to move all of that money around. Even if you're doing it domestically, still very costly. And you got to understand that there's a lot of trading partners, a lot of money that goes back and forth between countries. If we can speed up that transfer of money, as well as make it cheaper, in the long run, America will save money. And that's been one of his goals, Trump's goals of his administration, is to save money anywhere they can. And I think this is one of the areas that they felt that they could have greater impact by making a few changes. And that's what we're getting right now. Let me play this one.
I want crypto. I think crypto is important because if we don't do it, China's going to. And it's new. It's very popular. It's very hot. If you look at the market, when the market went down, that stayed much stronger than other aspects of the market. But I want crypto because a lot of people, millions of people want it. I don't know if you know that Biden went after it violently, and then before the election, he changed his tune entirely. His head of the SEC, everybody changed their tune. You know why? Because there were hundreds of millions of people that are participating in crypto, and they wanted to get their votes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? For the 4 years of the Biden administration, they did go after a lot of companies in the crypto space and didn't allow the technology to flourish. And a lot of people just decided not to build here in the United States. And they did change their tune kind of towards the end there because they saw what a popular topic it was amongst younger voters, as well as, voters of all ages, right? Crypto isn't just a young or old thing. It's an everybody thing, right? Everybody can start to understand blockchain technology. You just got to put a little time into doing that. And so, you got to give it up to the Trump administration for seeing that they could make a connection with this broader crowd of people and they, make some promises to them and they will vote for you. And that's what happened. And it's good to see, though, within the first 6 months of him getting into office, that he is delivering on what he said he was going to for the crypto bills. So I have to tip my hat to him, because, I didn't think we could get regulation this quickly. I'm happy that it's here. Of course, we do need to get the clarity done as well. We do have stablecoin regulation that is signed into law. The anti-CBDC language, that stuff is also moving through. But man, we're in a very strong place right now, I think, here in the United States. Let me play this one.
Let me say the entire crypto community, for years, you were mocked and dismissed and counted out. You were counted out as little as a year and a half ago. But this signing is a massive validation. And even before this signing, over the last year and a half, I think your stuff has gone up more than any stock, or just about more. A couple of stocks that were pretty good, I will say. But you have certainly, as an industry, gone up more than anybody.
Hey, man. XRP has gone up more than a lot of other things, too, in the crypto space right now. And then, of course, here is President Trump signing the Genius Act into law. Now, the Genius Act is stablecoin regulation. I did a lot of content on this, so we understand what's going on here. This will take about 18 months to go into effect. The only thing that could speed that up is if Scott Bessent, the Treasurer of the United States, if he stepped in, he could actually make the Genius Act viable working law in the United States in 4 months if he wanted to. 120 days we'll have to see if he decides to do that. And then I wanted to look at some other connections between the Trump family and, of course, XRP, because, you know, in the early weeks of the Trump administration, Trump had tweeted out about, Bitcoin reserve and digital asset reserve, and that XRP was one of the tokens that he wanted to start adding to this reserve. It came out later that, hey, just because they were presidential orders, there was no tax revenue behind those orders, so he couldn't start buying Bitcoin or XRP or Solana or ADA at that time. But I think this is something that he wants to figure out how to do, and so I will be keeping track to see like what updates we have from this. But here's some things that I've seen. Public inclusion of XRP in policy proposals. In March 2025, Donald Trump announced plans to create a crypto strategic reserve and explicitly named XRP alongside Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano. Lobbying and social media influence. The decision to include XRP in Trump's messaging appears to have been influenced by lobbying efforts. A lobbyist from Ballard Partners, whose client list included Ripple, the company associated with XRP, repeatedly drafted the messaging that Trump later shared on Truth Social. Well, that makes sense, right? Because I don't think Trump really knows what like XRP does, but it would make sense that, you know, there are some people in the background, lobbyists, who are putting this stuff together for Trump to post, and they have connections to Ripple and XRP. That's very interesting. I actually didn't know this piece. That is something that I learned putting this video together. Market impact. Trump's initial naming of XRP in a strategic digital asset caused a massive swift rally in the XRP market, adding 44 billion in market capitalization within 75 minutes. There's also political and legal context. Ripple and its executives have utilized political connections for years, having made donations across party lines, including a notable $11 million worth of XRP to Kamala Harris's campaign. Now, I know there's some people that look at this and say, you know, I can't believe that Chris Larson donated, $11 million to Kamala Harris. But if you are Ripple, the company, you need to be able to play both sides. You can't just back one horse, because if that horse loses, you are screwed. So, I think there was a little, political game going on here. And I think, listen, put yourself in the shoes of a crypto company in the United States. You have this big election. You don't want to piss off either side. So what are you going to do? You're going to have two different people give money to both sides. So whatever side comes out, you're going to be able to come out on top. This is just, I think, a smart play, and it worked. It seems to be working out for them. There's also public endorsements and policy proposals naming XRP, direct market impact, and statements behind the scenes political lobbying involving Ripple. We talked about legislative and regulatory signals favoring crypto industry, and XRP specifically highlighted. And then also Trump's sons know how important crypto is going to be to the mainstream and to their family. Let me play this.
I think these stablecoins are actually going to be the savior of dollar hegemony in the world, not a detractor from it. I think that goes without question. If you look at even companies like Tether, I think they're the fourth largest holder of U.S. treasuries in the world. What we're going to do with USD1, I mean, this is billions and billions of dollars of treasuries that other countries who have not necessarily been good actors or who have taken advantage of those things over the years have said they're going to back away from, to try to create their own kind of currency, to eliminate sort of, the petrodollar, whatever it may be. I think stablecoins could be the savior of U.S. currency. I think these stablecoins.
We know how popular stablecoins are going to be. There's also this too. Truth Social files an S1 registration statement. Truth Social crypto blue chip ETF. I did scan this into Perplexity, and it does mention XRP in this. The ETF proposal lists XRP as one of the primary assets held in their portfolio. The initial proposed allocation for XRP in the ETF is 2% of the total portfolio. So Trump's social media company is creating an ETF, a bundled ETF, and they're going to be putting 2% of that bundle into XRP. They're also going to be buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Chronos. So now you have the president's own company getting into these crypto assets, which is something to take notice of, right? And then last but not least, let me just play this last clip here for you. Eric Trump says crypto will destroy banks like JP Morgan Chase. This is what banks are worried about. This is why banks are now rushing to adopt the technology. This is why banks will go and start working with Ripple, because they need to get this stuff done sooner rather than later.
And I go, why do these banks even need to exist? You know, what is it that JP Morgan Chase does, you know, that DeFi, that blockchain can't do better, cheaper, more efficiently, more transparently? You know, hence really the creation of this idea, and really hence my entrance into, you know, the cryptocurrency world. And I think it's going to solve a lot of problems. You know, the SWIFT system in this country is absolutely broken. Every week I'm waiting for a wire transfer to come in at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, or trying to send one out. It's slow, it's lethargic, it doesn't make any sense. You look at what digital currency can do. You look what a digital currency backed by the US dollar, backed by US treasuries, that can be sent anywhere on earth instantaneously, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, can do. It's going to revolutionize finance, and we're very excited to be on the forefront of it.
Listen, I don't know how much Trump listens to his sons. It's probably like any other family, right? You know, the dad only listens to the kids so much. But both of his sons, or all three of his sons now, are actually in crypto. And they basically, that is their everyday day job now, is to be involved with crypto and make decisions, you know, with the companies that they're at, to push crypto adoption forward. So they're whispering into dad's ear how good crypto is. And I think Trump understands that this is something that needs to happen here in America, and we can do this really well. We've seen this with the .com boom. You know, there was a bust cycle. You know, after that, there will probably be a similar bust cycle in crypto. Not everything here is going to make it, but the stuff that's, you know, XRP and Bitcoin, Ethereum, these type of things, I think these will be here for decades to come. And, you know, I am positioned well in XRP. I could always want more, right? But, you know, there is still some time here, I think, to accumulate more if that's what you're interested in. And I think there's, you know, really, really big green candles ahead for the rest of the year. I think this is going to be we could be heading to like $8 or $10 trillion market cap in this cycle, especially if we're able to get crypto regulation over the line here over the next few months. All right, guys, I'll leave it there. Take care. Have a good day. Bye. Nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. Please seek financial advice if you need it.